So we haven't done a dash cam in a while, and we really haven't done too many that are like, I want to say feature full, especially at a price like this. So today we're looking at a dash cam, and I've never done one of these by these guys. This is ROVE. Company's ROVE. ROVE. Anybody hear of ROVE? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I don't know. But this is the ROVE R2-4K. Not to be confused with R2-D2, but R2-4K. Dad joke. I should have, maybe I'll edit that out. Probably not. Anyways, and before we get into it, this is their website right here. ROVE. This thing right now, it's like $129 US, which awesome for a 4K dash cam. Fantastic. But the bonus is with this one, you get like Wi-Fi, GPS. Like I said, this seems at least to be feature full, which is awesome. So we are going to take a look at some of the specs. We're going to take a look at what comes in the box, and we're going to take it out for a ride to see what the quality is like. Now, there will be a follow-up video, so watch for it if this is of interest to you, because we also got from ROVE, and they sent this to us. This is the ROVE Ultimate 3 lead hardware kit. So this allows you to plug this dash cam into your car so that it'll actually be able to, I believe, do recording and all that even when the car's not on. Because that's a big thing for a lot of people. Let's say you just want it at home and recording, so if something happens to it, or you're like I used to be, where I used to work at a mall, which means, you know, you're there for 8, 9, 10 hours and that car's unprotected. So it'd be nice to see if somebody bangs into it or somebody breaks into it, etc., etc. This will kind of give you that extra power. So what we'll do again in the follow-up video is we'll install this just to see how it works. So make sure to watch for that. But today, like I said, take a look at what comes in the box and take this little guy out for a rip. All right, coming up. I love their little ROVE R2-4K. Truth be told. So if you look here, Ultra HD 4K, built-in Wi-Fi, built-in GPS. Now it doesn't come with a memory card, just be aware of that, but it supports up to 512 gig cards. What does this say? It has a Sony something sensor, I don't know. Rotate video, sure. G sensor, 150 degree angle, so it's a little wider than some. A lot of them are 120. This is 150. Loop recording, time-lapse video if you want. True WDR, so wide dynamic range. 24-hour parking mode, and I believe, like I said, I believe that's going to be kind of what this is kind of used for, right? So just kind of be aware. I can't read that. Getting old eyes. It's happening. Motion detection, night vision, and a screensaver. All kinds of good stuff. And that's kind of what it has here, right? It shows the app in the picture. If that's the app, it looks like it's a good app, and it has a little map below it. So we'll try that out for sure. What else we got here? Most reliable dash cam. You want reliable. It looks tiny, which is nice too. We'll kind of just fit this behind the mirror, hopefully. Wide dynamic range, which is also good. And oh, they have a little official video. Very cool. So maybe we'll throw that up there afterwards, just because why wouldn't you? All right, let's take a look at the box. That's it. Box contents, right? We're gonna go here. Here's your, you can either search, it says, for the app, but the app is in the App Store or Google Play Store, and it has a QR code that you can scan to get it. Very nice. I like the box though. The box looks nice. As you can see, we haven't opened it ahead of time. And I want to thank ROVE for sending this out to us, because we're going, well, we probably have already done this already. Gone on a big long trip to our new home. Again, we're filming this a little bit in advance. So, having a nice dash cam, never a bad thing. All right, so we get this. It says, please read. Please read. I probably should. I don't know if I will, but it's a lovely manual, right? How to transfer videos, how to hide power cables, how to set your date and time, all the specifications, right? Shortcuts. It's a really, really nice manual. Like you can tell, right? All the information is big, right? It's all big fonts, it's color. Yeah, it goes through all the video settings, everything. That's fantastic. Is the whole thing in English? My gosh, I think it is. Like the whole thing is in English. So it's a good bit of a read, just so you know, right? Good bit of a read. But they do have a quick start guide. So, quick start guide, just in case you're like, I don't want to read all that. So we have a one year warranty if you want that, and we have your quick start guide. So, quick start guide I will read for sure. I'll read that one. That one will happen. And I do like this box. Nice design. What is this? Oh, it's like is that like a little screen protector? I have no idea. Maybe a little screen protector for it. Does that even say anything? Harder warm prompt. Please press the electrostatic on top of the front windscreen of the car. Oh, so this goes on the windscreen, so it doesn't stick directly to the windshield. It sticks to this. So don't lose that. That's cool. Here's the camera. Let's put the camera down over there. I don't think there's anything under this big foam. And, okay, let's just shift that over there. This is the box of goodies, I'm guessing. Box of goodies. So like I said, we're going to try to take it out today, and we'll just mount it, maybe. And then we'll try to do this super permanent, well, more permanent install later. All right, so what are we getting here? We get a ton of little things, actually. So we get it is just it's not even micro, it's just mini USB to USB-A. We get probably another one, yeah, so mini USB to USB-A. This is gonna be, my guess would be the one for the car because it's longer, and this is a shorter one, so maybe this is just for like plugging it in if you're in the house, etc., right? You get, here's your little stickies, right? Little sticky mounts for mounting this on there. Excellent. These, I believe, are little clamps to hide your cables. So if you're running them along something, like underneath your glove box or something like that, you get little cable hidey stickies. Technical term, it's fine. You do get a dual, that's nice actually, dual USB to 12 volt, your cigarette lighter, however you want to call it. But that's a nice one. Small, and I like the dual USB because now you can plug in your camera and still have one available for your phone or whatever it is that you're also plugging into that. So that's good. And last but not least, a little suction mount. So if you want, this is the way I'm going to stick it, is with the suction mount. That seems like a nice suction mount. I'm guessing they're like a proprietary little connector. Maybe it just slides on there. So this would be more of a permanent solution if you wanted to stick it, right? A little sticky on there. And this is going to be the suction mount if you want to go that route. Now, I like the fact that they gave you both because I'm a fan of the suction mount, but some people don't. Some people want it to be more permanent. And the sticky, you know, you're almost guaranteed that it's never going to fall off. One of the issues, of course, where we live is that in the winter, it can be really, really cold. And suction cup mounts don't usually, or don't always hold well. So they kind of pop off because of the cold. So sometimes you're like, maybe that's better. But we're going to use this one today. Last but not least, you get an idea of the size. See, it's a little, I don't want to say big, but it's a little bigger. You guys can see that, a little bigger than I expected it to be. But it's a good size. Don't get me wrong. I don't want it to be much smaller. Nice and thin, which is fantastic. Yeah. So there's that like proprietary mount right there. That's just gonna kind of go in there and you just slide that in. So that's good. Bunch of info on the back. There's all your menu buttons. I like this one. It's laid out really nice. So, a TV out. It even has a TV out. But what I don't see, has a TV out, it says. It says TV out. But I don't see anything like a cable that, it doesn't seem to come with a cable that would let you do that. No. So you'd have to supply your own. Big deal? Not really. But I do like the fact that that's all there because depending on how you had this mounted, you can see all that info, right? Yeah, no, that's good. There's your mic. there's your reset if you want to reset it. There's your, just look at that. You have an HD out. That's like a mini or micro HDMI. There's your USB. And then on the top, there's that TV out. There's the GPS chip right there. And there's your, it says class 10 speed U3. That's what it wants because it is 4K. So it needs to have some speed to that card. So don't go putting a cheap card in. Because I've seen this before where people are like, yeah, I put the card in there, it records, and the image is all crap. I'm like, yeah, get a better card. It's simple. Let's get a better card. Try it again. So it even says right on there, class 10, it is recommending a U3 style micro SD card. So very cool. And then last but not least, there's your power. Okay, I like that. Good size screen. I wonder, any juice in this right now? Any juice? Does it have like a battery? It may not. I don't think so. No. All right, that's the unboxing. Let's go take this outside. We'll just do a simple mount this on the window. We'll do a quick rip around and we can put the footage up there, right? Like this, remove. Because if not, you'll be wondering why all you see is black. All right, let's go out to the car. All right, guys, so hopefully you can see me and we have the ROVE R2-4K here. Nice and easy mount, of course. And like I said, we are going to try to do the permanent solution in a future video. Right now it's just plugged into the 12 volt or cigarette lighter. So it should auto start up. Now, when we go back to the house, we will go through some of the menu options because there are a fair bit in there that you may want to play with, including resolution, because the default resolution that came up was actually HD. So it was in 1920 by 1080, 60p. So depending on what you want, because when you go into the 4K modes, you drop to like 24 frame and 30 frame, I believe it is. So depending on what your needs are, if you want smoother or if you want more resolution. So we're gonna go for a rip. Now it is hot out today, and I'm gonna try to keep the AC and everything off so you can hear me talk. And it should auto start up. There it is, right? So it started, and you'll see on here because of the, you may see it, it actually shows, you can turn this on, like your speed and everything. So right now it's showing 0 kilometers an hour. The highest resolution that this has is actually 2880 by 2160. So a little bit more of like a squarish format. I believe it will stretch it out when it gets into an actual, like an editing system or playback. So we're going to spin around, and I'm going to put the actual live footage up there. You guys will be able to see what the camera is seeing, and I will just kind of talk. Now we're just going to kind of go around the block a little bit. Again, it's, I don't know, Celsius wise, it's close to 30 today, and I'm driving now with no air conditioning on or anything, so I should be a bucket of sweat by the time I get home. So let's just spin around here. We'll do just one kind of quick rip around the block, because I'm sure one of the things that everybody kind of wants to see is how it does with things like, you know, license plates. And one of the things today too is just look at, you know, the color of the sky and the color of things around. Now it is shooting through a dirty windshield, so let's actually put some windshield washer up there, hopefully clean that off a little bit, possibly. That's a bit better, I think. And we may be able to get behind some traffic here so that you guys can see, hopefully, a license plate. So we'll just kind of hang tight. All right, we're gonna whip in behind this car here. See if I can get up on them. So hopefully you guys can get an idea if you can see. Now, my guess would be you could see that license plate okay. I'm going to turn here though. It is pushing, like, it is 4K. It's just a different version of 4K. And now the other thing too is what we'll do is when we pull into our house, we'll pull into, you can see my other car, so you can see the license plate on that and how close you kind of have to get before you can really start reading it. I don't think you'll have to get very close, but you guys will be able to at least get a little bit of an idea based on, you know, distance-wise. So not overly exciting right now. So I'm going to cut this until we get closer to home. So we'll be right back. So just on a side note, again, I don't think you guys will be able to see it, but it is actually really nice, you know, to be able to look on the screen and actually see how fast you're going. You know, it comes up right on the screen. It's fairly big and obvious based on, like, compared to all the other icons and text. Like right now, it's like 27 kilometers, 31 kilometers, 35 kilometers, 36. So 41 and a 40. I'm going too fast, I get it. But that's actually really nice because you can actually, it's legible even from an angle. Not as good as you were looking straight on, but definitely seeable. That's helpful. So if your speedometer was off, you'd know. All right, so again, I'm going to cut this part out and we'll be back when we're close to home. All right, so we are coming down our street again. Again, you should get a good idea of the width. Again, this is 150 degrees is what it's saying, so you should have a nice view right and left of everything. And even here with this vehicle that's in front of me, or on the right here, this what is it, Escape I think it is, how close before you start to see the license plate, right? And it's off to the side, so you get a little bit of an idea there. And then if we turn in here, again, this is my place. Normally if you were parked even at an intersection behind somebody, you'd be about this far. This would be about the distance that you would be behind somebody. Now if you were close enough that they were kind of hitting you, you'd kind of be here. So again, you should get at least an idea of what the clarity is like. So I'm going to go in because you guys are seeing the actual footage. I haven't seen it yet. So I'm going to go take a look, and then we'll talk about the actual menu setup, and we may even take a quick look at the actual application. All right, stay tuned. All right, my friends, so we are back in the house. We've had a chance to take the camera out for a little ride, and I've had a chance to look at it, which is kind of important. And actually, quality is quite good. Again, you have to realize that it's 4K. Sort of, right? Because it's not the standard 3840 by 21, what is it, 2160? It's 2880. So it's actually using the 1440 by 1080, like, doubler. So it still is considered a 4K. It's just realize that when you look at it and you're like, it's not 3880. You're right, it isn't. But quality-wise, it still looks actually really good. I was quite happy with it. So let's take a look at a few things. So on the back here, hopefully you guys can see this. I've got it actually plugged into a power inverter over here. The screen is good, but I have to say that if you're on an angle, you're not really going to see it. You have to kind of look at it straight on. Now this is a plus and a minus. Minus, of course, is you can't see it on an angle. Positive is that you can't see it on an angle, so it's not overly distracting. So that's kind of nice. So here's your little controls here. If you want to go into the app, now realize that there's two apps by ROVE. One is for their stealth camera, and then there's one just the ROVE. And just so you guys see it, this is the stealth 4K. Hopefully you guys can see that, and this is ROVE. We're using the ROVE app. So inside here, if you go into your menu, I have my Wi-Fi turned on now, so we'll just hit yes. Wi-Fi mode is on. Yep. Video mode. Right. We can go into here and under settings, and you just kind of tap your menu to go over here. You'll see Wi-Fi. So all you do is you come in here and you turn this on, and your Wi-Fi turns on here. Shows you your what your Wi-Fi name is going to be, and it shows your password. At this point in time on your phone, for instance, you can choose that. Pop in the password. Because I've already connected to it before, it's connected already. So there it is, ROVE R2-4K is connecting to. And then I'm just going to go to that ROVE app right there. and there it is. So if I can spin that around, you can see it. And it actually, like, it looks, even in here, I'm a little shocked at how good this records. Now, the application itself doesn't have a lot to it. You can kind of come in here and change all your settings if you want to, right? So you go anywhere from 28, 80, 24 frames, 30, 60, etc., depending on what you kind of want to play. I'm just going to keep it at the top. You have the ability to record audio, set it to photo mode if you want, down here as well, right? So you'll see it switch here to photo, 12 megapixels. Again, you can tap there and play around with the different resolutions. You have your folder, and this is going to allow you to come in and see all the video and photos that you've taken. So you can download them from here, or you can actually go in and just stream them, whichever you want, and then trash them. So you get a bit of both if you want that. A little back arrow up there. And then last but not least, you do have like your settings. So this is where you can look at the camera name. Right now we're in photography, so photo resolution. You got your video exposure. You can format your card if you're NTSC, etc., etc. So not a ton of info in here, but it's there. It's something, and it could be useful, especially if you have this set up wherever, and you want to just check your camera for one, for framing. Two is that, let's say you do have something happen, then you can actually get the footage from the camera to your phone so that you can email it or just look at it on a bigger screen, whichever. So I'll just switch that back to video. So it works decently. So far it's been good. Haven't had any issues with it. But that's kind of that. Now, when you come back in here, the one thing to notice is that when you are connected through Wi-Fi, it seems like maybe the GPS information just gone. It just disappears. Because even on the screen here, you'll notice, and you probably couldn't see it before, but usually your speed and everything shows up here, and it's not there, and it's because the Wi-Fi is turned on. So if we come back into menu here, it asks us if we want to turn off Wi-Fi, and I'm going to be like yes. As soon as you turn it off, you'll see it switches, and you get like, it says 1 kilometer, but I'm not moving, I don't think, that fast. But I barely ever get it to say 0. But it shows up, so that means, of course, that the GPS is turned on. So it's functioning. So just kind of be aware, if you are connected through this, the GPS seems to disable. So I'm going to stop it from recording because it does auto start. And if we go into menu here, first off, you just use your arrows, right? Resolution. There's all your resolution that you can choose. Okay to enter. You can come down to loop recording. Do you want wide dynamic range? Exposure compensation, so if you want to change that. Your time-lapse recording. Parking mode. Now parking mode, I would think, again, once we get into using that add-on so that it can get continuous power, I think this would be something we would probably enable. 24-hour parking mode. Do you want to record audio? And what I found actually really interesting was how good the audio was from this. Usually the audio out of dash cams isn't great. Surprising that whole clip of us driving around inside in the daytime was the audio from this camera. Like, it really good. Do you want a timestamp? Which you probably should, it's a dash cam. Do you want your G sensor speed unit? It shows you if you want kilometers or miles. Do you want to hide your status icons? Right? Live speed, which I actually want. Distortion correction. Now I had mine turned off, and you will see when you kind of go around like a curve, anything on the corners does have some distortion on it, but you get the full width. Whenever you turn distortion or image distortion on, it's going to have to manipulate, so usually you lose a little bit of the width. So personal preference. Rotate video, if you are going to be, you know, having this mounted upside down or however, you can play around in there. And that's kind of it for the camera. Then you can hit your menu and go to your settings. So now you're going to have, do you want to turn your Wi-Fi on or off? Set your date and time, set your date format, check, or clock format, sorry, GPS time zones, screensaver settings, beep sound, speaker volumes, boot up tone, language, TV mode, license plate. You can put your own license plate in there if you want. Frequency, I would go in here because depending on where you buy this, you're either 60 hertz or 50 hertz. GPS info, you can even see that, right? It shows you all the GPSs that you're currently connected to. Menu is going to get you back out. how much storage space is left on your SD card, delay shutdown, so how long after it loses power or it turns up before it turns off, format reminders, format the card, default settings, that would just reset it, and check for your firmware. So back out you come. Stop that. You know, I actually really like it. I think the quality is good, and you have to really put it against competition in its price category. This thing is just over $100 US, and because of that, it's surprising how much functionality it has, right? Just the fact that it has GPS in it is awesome. The mic recording is surprisingly good. It comes in 4K. Now it's a lower 4K, but it is 4K, so I'm okay with that. Has an application that seems to function, so that's good. And we took it out last night to drive around at night. Now it was dark. It was dark, and I was talking to my wife, and I was like, oh, I'm supposed to take this out kind of at dusk-ish to see how well it would work. So I took it out, and I'm like, oh, it's dark. And after I got home, and you guys will be able to see the footage here, after I got home, I was like, oh, it doesn't shoot in like a night mode, so it doesn't shoot in like infrared or anything like that, because it doesn't have an infrared sensor in it, at least not one that I could see, and it was shooting in full color. And it is way brighter than what I was seeing with my eye. Like, I was shocked at how, like, the sky seems so bright when it was not bright by any means. So really good. Now the issue, of course, and I find this with any dash cam, well, really any camera that shoots at night, is seeing the license plate. Now the license plate is there, but because your headlights are hitting it and reflecting back, it's really hard for the camera to expose properly so that it doesn't blow out the license plate. I think it's just a limitation of cameras and that time of day when you're shooting, right? It's trying to expose for it being super dark, and then you got a bright light reflecting off a license plate. It's just a no-win situation. But it's good. It's still gonna record anything that happens, and there's, without question, you're gonna have no issues being able to see, especially if anybody's at fault, right? It was ridiculously bright compared to what it really was. So that's it for today's video. Probably a fairly long video, but because this is a dash cam, and I find that it is important to look at the software and see its functionality and get some samples. I think, you know what, again, for that price point, for a camera that's sub $200, it's definitely one of the better ones that I've tried. So I will put links to Rove's website if you guys are interested in taking a look at this and getting some more information in regards to it. And just stay tuned, right? Stay tuned to the channel, because it's really been rainy lately. We are going to install that like that permanent attached to your car battery thing, because I think that's really great for cars, especially that you want to monitor like 24 hours. So we're going to do an install of that once I figure out how to do it, and that'll be in a future video. All right, my friends, like I said, links down below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell, so you guys are notified when we put up a new video, especially if you're interested in part 2 of this and the install of the battery adapter. All right, guys, I'm out. Enjoy your day, and we'll see you next video. Later.